So today I'm going to just briefly discuss the Burst Generator. It's a CGS306 and it was made by Ken Stone originally, or it's Ken Stone circuit. And I built this, it's paperface, and I did it kind of in the style of Loudest Warning. It's pretty much a straight copy of one of Charlie's, of Loudest Warning's designs. It's got an end out, trigger out, duration. This is the light and the output of the internal oscillator. The internal oscillator has two different ranges, and the frequency can be adjusted here. So that's going to be the speed at which the pulses come out. So, and then you have, like I said, trigger out, pulses, and you have an LED for that. Every time you send a trigger, it will generate pulses with either the internal clock or an external clock, which you can select by a switch. And it will pulse as many times as you select. I think it's up to about 12, I think. You can read about it on the CGS website. There's also a manual button here to trigger. It has a trigger every time you send a trigger, send pulses, and a retrigger. Every time you send a trigger, it will kind of restart the amount of pulses it's supposed to send. So I'll just demonstrate that it works. So first, I think it makes sense to just take pulses. I'm going to connect over here to a low pass gate to the control voltage in. Now we'll use an envelope, but I'll just so you can hear it, I'll just send the pulses. And here I have a VCO, and I'm just using a unipolar saw wave. The output goes to a mixer. So if I turn this up and I hit this, we should be able to hear that. Oh, I have external clock. I need internal clock. Okay, so you can hear it barely. And I can adjust the pulse widths, and I can turn the range of the oscillator down. Turn this, have less pulses. Right, and I'm on retrig now. If I wasn't, it wouldn't let me restart them. So now we'll do it as you might normally do it. I'll take the pulses and I'll put it into this input on a negative slew. Take the output, so that's my envelope. If I push this, okay, now you'll see the same pulses here. So I'm going to take this and now plug into the CV, and you'll hear more of a kind of percussive synth sound. Yeah, there's not much to it. I mean, I think one of the valuable things is just the ability to change the pulse width. That's super useful, and the retrig. So you can get things going and do quite interesting things. The internal clock is limited in that it's not, you can't modulate it unless you're doing it manually with the knob. So one thing I like to do is have an envelope that modulates the clock, the external clock that goes in here. So if I take this R7 generator and I trigger it, it's going to trigger every time. This is just an envelope. It's got a little comparator window out, and so that hits this and it causes the triggers. Okay, but we have the envelope shape here, and so I'm gonna first switch this to an external clock. Okay, and I'll plug this SSG in to an external clock. Now this is just, you can just think of it as an LFO that we can modulate. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I can modulate this LFO with the same thing that's beginning those triggers. You got to get it set, but so you get these kind of almost rolls. So there's other tricks too. Obviously, you can trigger things when your cycle is finished. So like, if I put this here, you can see it. It's gonna trigger this, and I can use that envelope for something else. Say the pitch of my oscillator. Okay, and then it gives you an idea.